Hey everyone and welcome back. And a big thank you to all my subscribers for helping me reach this 500 mark goal. So today we'll be looking at something called as Web3. So on the internet there's a lot of chatter about Web3 and what exactly this is. So I was very much curious about it and I thought of exploring it. So today in this video we'll be looking at how we can create a cryptocurrency token using smart contract and then deploy this into a blockchain network. And then we will transfer some tokens from one account to another after minting them into their respective accounts. So with this, let's get started. Okay, now to create a smart contract, first I'm going to create a particular folder, say Ethereum smart contract, and I'm going to navigate to that. Okay, so first what I need is, let's open a browser here and I'm going to open Truffle Suite. Now, Truffle Suite is a way through which you can actually create smart contracts. So it provides you those tools to create an initial smart contract. Now to install this, you can install this using npm. So I'm going to say npm install Truffle. Okay, so now Truffle has been installed. Let's do one thing. Let's open our IDE here. So we have an empty folder with just some node modules. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do truffle init. So this will initialize this particular folder with a initial smart contract. Now let's look at what has been created here. So if you see here, I have the contract here. So I have migrations.solidity file. Then I have a migrations folder here. And then I have the test folder, right? Let's ignore the test folder for now. Let's look at the solidity file here. So now here we see that there is a particular migration token that has been created here, but we will be creating a token which will be based on the ECR20 contract. Now to see where these contracts are, let's go to actually Openzeppelin, and in Openzeppelin, let's go to the GitHub repo. Now in the Openzeppelin's contract, so here are all the base contracts that you can use, like various standards that are present here are the ECR20 tokens based on which we will be creating our own cryptocurrency token. So now to install this, this also can be installed using npm. So let's copy this and install this here. So now Openzeppelin contracts have been installed. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create our own token which is going to be based on ECR20 format. So here if I open this link, you can find the documentation related to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my existing project in which I have already created this particular ECR20 token. So if you see here, I have this contracts folder in which I have this nice token.sol file. In this I have imported the ECR20 solidity file and I'm going to create my own contract called as nice token, which is based on ECR20. Now here it has only two functions. One is a constructor wherein I'm specifying the name of the particular token, that is nice coin, and I'm giving it a symbol called as nice. And there's one more function that I'm adding is called as mint. So now this mint function is used to mint some particular tokens for a particular account. And this mint function that is here is actually from the ECR20 contract itself. Okay, so now I created a smart contract. Now I actually need to deploy this particular smart contract onto a blockchain network. So for this, I'm not going to deploy this on a real blockchain network, but rather I'm going to start my own local blockchain network. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Truffle Ganache and I'm going to download this local blockchain network here. Okay, so it's an executable. I have already downloaded this and I'm going to open Ganache here. So as you can see, Ganache has started and I'm going to start a blockchain network. So now I'm going to use the quick start option here. You see that I have a local blockchain network that I'm running on my system, which is running at this particular port here. And these are the various accounts that are present on that blockchain network. So right now I have the smart contract, I have the local blockchain network on my system. I need to now actually deploy this smart contract, right? So for this, what we have to do is we need to create a migration script. Now, if you see in this folder, we have this JS file in which we are going to specify how we can deploy the nice token contract. Here I get the deployer, I fetch the nice token from the artifacts, and then I'm going to deploy it here. After the nice token has been deployed, I'm going to use the contract, and then I'm going to mint 200 tokens for this particular account. So let's go pick up the account address here. I'm going to pick up this and I'm going to paste this here. Now you must be wondering that I want to have like 200 tokens, right? So why am I specifying these many number of zeros? The reason is for ECR20, there are 18 decimal places. So I need to specify 18 zeros followed by the number of tokens that I have. So with this, I'm actually minting 200 tokens for this particular account. So now this is the migration script, but for this migration script to work, I need to first compile my contract. So let's open a terminal here and I'm going to say Truffle compile. So as you can see, my smart contract has been compiled, and you can see in this particular build folder, we have a nice token.json. It also downloaded the ECR20.json and compiled it and created our nice token.json. Now we need to deploy this. Now in order to deploy this, we have this migration script here. But in order for this application to actually communicate with a blockchain network, we need to specify the address for blockchain network. For this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Truffle config, and in Truffle config, in the modules, I'm going to specify the network, and under network, I'm going to put in the location. So I have the local host here, I have the port ID, and I'm giving a network ID star. So with this, actually Truffle will now be able to communicate with the local blockchain network in order to deploy my compiled smart contract. Now to deploy this, I'm going to run Truffle migrate. Nice. So we actually got the smart contract deployed on a local blockchain network, and the contract got deployed on this particular address here. If you go to Ganache here and see in the transactions, you see the created account address, that is this one. Now let's go back here. So now what we did is we created a smart contract, we created a migration script, we deployed this particular smart contract onto the blockchain network, and we got a contract address here. Now let's go and visualize these particular tokens onto a wallet, right? So I have this MetaMask wallet here. And if you see here, I have some account here and I'm connected to the main Ethereum network, right? So what I'm going to say is add network. And here I'm going to add the location of my local blockchain network. So for this, I'm going to go here, copy this address, and I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to give it the chain ID 1337. So now that's the default chain ID for your Ganache network. And I'm going to specify the currency symbol, that is Ethereum. Now it's giving me an error because I already have this network being added. So let's go there and look at it. So here I have this local network that has been added here. And these are the configurations. Now let's look at importing this particular account. So for this, I'm going to say import account, and I'm going to specify the private key. Now I can find out this private key from here. So if I click on this, I get this particular private key and I'm going to paste it here. So with this, I have imported that particular account, and I'm going to switch now to my local blockchain network. So as you can see here, as soon as I changed the network to local, it fetched all the Ethereum that was present for this particular account. So if I go back here, this is the balance of Ethereum on this account. So now what we need to do next is we need to import the tokens for this particular account that we just created on the blockchain network, right? So let's go to import tokens here, and I'm going to specify the token contract address. So remember, this is the address wherein we deployed our nice token contract, right? So let's go there and copy this particular contract address. So it has already fetched the token symbol as well as the number of token decimal points. I'm going to say add token. See, if you can see here is the nice token, and this particular account has a balance of 200 nice tokens. So I'm going to say import tokens and go back here. Now as you can see here, I can see the balance of my nice tokens. I can always send this nice tokens to someone else. So I say send nice, and I'm going to now give it a public address. So let's consider that I'm going to give it to this particular address, right? Let's put in this particular address here, and I'm going to specify that I want to transfer only 20 tokens. I'm going to say next and confirm this particular transaction. So as you can see, it has actually transferred 20 nice tokens. And if I go back here, I'm left with 180 tokens. Now let's visualize the wallet for this particular address. I'm going to take the private key for this particular address now. Now, if I see here, I don't right now see the nice tokens here. So I'm going to say import tokens, and I'm going to specify the contract address again. Add token, and you can see it has fetched now the token balance for this particular account. So these are your nice tokens. Now, in case if you missed out any step, or if you want to read something more in detail about this, you can always go to my blog refactorfirst.com, and I have this how to create a cryptocurrency token using smart contract post. So today we saw how we can actually create a cryptocurrency token and deploy them using a smart contract. We then also transferred some tokens from one account to the other using MetaMask. Now, I already have created an article in order to create a cryptocurrency wallet using React.js. So then using this React.js application, you can actually read the token balance on a particular account and then use the transfer option to transfer from one account to the other. So now I'm linking that article in the description below. So please check it out on my website refactorfirst.com. Till then, take care and see you in my next one.